making vegan country fried steak and tenders. I'm super excited to be sharing this recipe with you all. It's a perfect alternative to everyone's favorite fried chicken or chicken nuggets. Something that I forgot to mention in my last video is that in these recipes I'm making seitan, which is a high protein meat substitute. For my meal preps, I serve the fried steaks or tenders with vegan mac and cheese. These meals are only 305 calories and have 30 grams of protein. For the dry ingredients, I have 2 cups of vital wheat gluten, 1 cup of breadcrumbs, and 2 tablespoons of nutritional yeast. I wasn't able to find vital wheat gluten in stores, but I'll leave a link down below to where I find it online. I find the nutritional yeast at H-E-B, but I'll leave links down below to where you can find it as well. For the spices, I'm going to add 1 tablespoon of garlic powder, 1 tablespoon of onion powder, 1 teaspoon of Comino, 1 teaspoon of pepper, 1 teaspoon of poultry seasoning, 1 teaspoon of paprika, 1 teaspoon of smoked paprika, and to get a more smoky flavor, I added 1 teaspoon of Chipotle pepper powder. Don't worry if you don't have all the spices, I'm just trying to get a nice flavor here. For the wet ingredients, I have 1 cup of vegetable broth, 1/4 cup of oil, and 1/2 cup of soy sauce. Next, I'm going to mash 1 cup of black beans. I use a food processor here, but you can use a fork like I did in my last video. Mix until it forms a paste. I'm going to add the beans to a bowl and add the dry ingredients, the spices, and mix with a fork until everything's mixed together. Once that's all mixed, I'm going to add the wet ingredients. I'm going to stir with a fork until I can get my hands in there. I'm going to knead for about a minute, making sure to get everything off the side of the bowl. Next, I'm going to transfer it to a cutting board and knead for about another 2 to 3 more minutes. If your dough is too sticky, you can always add another 1/4 cup of vital wheat gluten and it should firm up. Be careful not to add too much because then your dough will become spongy and tough to eat. Once that's done, I'm going to cut it in half, then cut that piece into 4 more pieces. This recipe makes a lot, so you can always put whatever you're not going to use in the freezer and save it for another time. Each one of these balls is going to make 1 steak patty or about 5 steak fingers. For the steak patties, I'm going to use a rolling pin to roll it out to the size that I want it to be. Steak fingers, it's going to be the same process. You can use your hands to fix any mistakes like I do here. This recipe is really hard to mess up, just don't add too much vital wheat gluten. I'm going to roll this one out more long ways so I can have more tenders. To cut them, I'm going to use a pizza cutter to make everything real easy. Fry, I'm going to be using Lefty Spices Fish and Chicken. This has a really nice flavor and technically it's vegan, so I haven't found a reason to make my own. I like to mix both of these because sometimes the spicy is just a little too spicy. I've been doing this for a while now, so I don't measure anything anymore, but you can always use the instructions in the back of the bag. I'm just going to add water and get it to the consistency that I like. I like a lot of batter, so that's why it's thick. If you want less batter, you can always add more water. Next, I'm going to put a mixture of both on a plate and set aside. To batter the steaks, I'm going to dunk each one in the wet mixture, then place it on the dry mixture and make sure it's all coated. To do the steak fingers, I'm going to repeat the process. Once they're all done, it's time to fry. In a pan, I heated about 1 inch of oil to medium heat. I'm going to do the steak patties first. You can use a spoon to cover the top with oil to get it more crispy. After about 2 minutes, it's time to flip. Be careful not to splash any oil on you. I'm going to leave it here for another minute, and it's done. I'm going to flip here just to show you what it looks like on the other side. Then I'm going to transfer it to some paper towels to absorb the excess oil. The steak fingers take less time, about a minute on each side, and they'll be good to go. These pieces of seitan don't take a long time to cook since they're not real meat, so just crispen to your preference. Once they're done, I'm going to transfer them to the paper towel and cover them until we're ready to eat. Eating plant-based foods doesn't have to be boring. Here I have my version of a spicy deluxe sandwich from Chick-fil-A. I use whole wheat buns and either hummus, mustard, or ketchup as a spread. To sneak in more veggies, I add grilled mushrooms, onions, or even fresh corn. I like to serve these plates with homemade fries or vegan mac and cheese. Recipes on how I make those will be coming out soon. I prefer to get my protein from plant-based foods because they provide better nutrients and vitamins and help me feel full longer. If any of you all try out this recipe, let me know. I'm going to link all my social media down below, as well as different documentaries that I've seen that are making the switch to eating plant-based foods a lot easier. A great one to watch for those that are interested in the way diet affects our health is What You Eat Matters. I really appreciate everyone's support and look forward to seeing you all in my next video. God bless you all and stay positive.